That'll turn into a chant next week, won't it?
Yeah. We've got your bin juice. We've got your bin.
Here we go. Welcome to the Pompey Pod. And it's a good Pompey Pod as well because we're here to talk about a victory over Millwall at the... Was it Melrose? At the weekend. We'll come back to Melrose a little bit later. I'm sure some people will already know what we're talking about. But evening, gents, by the way. Evening, Dan. Evening, Tolly. All right?
Yes, it is.
It was a good weekend, wasn't it? We'll come to the game in just a moment. But as always, we will start with some interactions with our viewers and listeners. So we'll go for a few. And there's actually a couple we're going to talk about in a little bit more depth, get your reaction to. So just a couple. Obviously, this is in response to the last pod, which was talking about the Hull and the Rex games. The Hull was an early kickoff. And Universal_Library 25 said, I did all my jobs on Saturday, made a drink, sat down to listen to the game at 3 o'clock. Then, here on the radio, the game had finished and we had lost. Oh, Horlicks, he said.
We've all done it.
It's not a bad thing, though, is it? You'd rather they lose and you miss it.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Then it was a good win. PFC B2000 said, hello, I'm listening from Hilsey, which is great. Thank you very much. Joe Harry, thank you for sharing the radio show again. Thanks for that. In response to my lack of knowledge about Zesh Rahman, Scott Attrell 3697 has given us an update that he was the first British Asian to start in the Premier League. There you go. How about that?
Good bit of trivia.
Yeah.
A bit of trivia, indeed. Thanks for that. What else we got? Grass looks long. Yeah, about 3'6". That's from Neil Harding. Christopher Reed is listening from the number 7 Swan on Canoe Lake.
Now I know who Christopher Reed is.
Do you?
Yeah.
He's put in the same way that a Man United fan isn't cutting his hair until they win 5 in a row. I'm following suit. Until we win one match, I will dress as an otter day in, day out. Okay. We also have another comment from Paul Carpets. Thank you very much, Paul. Fine margins have cost us. Theresa Moore says apparently the attacking coach is Michael Pedalbin Doyle. Pedalbin was obviously the comment that
well played, Theresa. Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed. And finally, Visible Comment says keep JM out of the pedal bin because we were obviously talking about the potential of JM being lambasted. Now, here's the comments that I'd like you to respond to. Unboxing Legend 7708 says, he says quite a lot, but I'm going to condense to some key points here. I could already tell at the start of the season that players like Murphy and Bishop were, at this point, too far gone for our team to reliably play and actually perform well, and yet Pompey decided to keep them. I understand that with Murphy, he is an amazing player, and selling him would be crucial to our team. But the way I see it, most of the players will need to be sold off to get decent players in who can actually take knocks and not always be injured. I'll continue. My opinion of it is we need to replace basically the whole starting and backup 11 unless some players can show their worth keeping within the club and actually improve. I'd rather have fit players on the pitch of average quality who can take knocks and stuff and rarely go off injured over a starting 11 and backup who have lost their quality, are always injured, sit around getting paid to do nothing essentially and waste Pompey's resources whilst hindering their ability to climb the table and to the Premier League. Comments on that, gentlemen?
There's a lot to unpick there.
A lot to unpack. Let's start off with the Bishop and Murphy comments. Strange that Murphy's been chucked in there. He was injured at the time, I suppose, but
yeah. I think I can see Unboxing's point of view in that he's obviously clearly frustrated with the injuries, which is, hampered us last season. It's gone on exactly the same this season to all our decent players. But whether that's to do with them being physically stronger than other teams' players, I'm not so sure. I still think maybe there is an issue with the training or the training ground. I don't know. It does seem to be. But then you say that, and then other fans say, well, we've had plenty of players out injured as well. So, I think it's just coincidence. But yeah, I can see that he's frustrated, and I understand that. But I'm not so sure saying that changing the whole squad, which is basically what he's saying, is the way to go.
He does caveat it a little bit later, but as I say, I wanted to keep it down. The players he would keep are Devlin, Ogilvie, and Hugh, who doesn't belong to us anyway. But yeah.
Okay. Well,
Tolly, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to Dan's sensible response.
Very diplomatic response, I thought, actually. Yeah, very diplomatic.
I think that's a little bit over the top, isn't it? Players get injured, it happens. Yeah, we might have had more than our fair share in the last few years, but I mean, Murphy got injured. He wasn't out for that long, was he? Came back and he's back on form again. So it's not like he's been a serial injury. So yeah, I think you can't use that broad brush with all the players, can you? Yes, to a certain extent, it's true, but not for all of them.
No. To balance that argument, he does also say some very positive things about Mousinho, and we should make sure at all costs that we keep him because he is a quality manager, and any other or most other Championship sides would be pleased to have him, and there's no one really suitable to replace him. So just to give a bit of balance to that comment from there. Now, final one is from our good man in Thailand, Paul Sai Dang. Has said, do not lose sight. This is in response to whether or not we should get rid of Mousinho and the current form. Do not lose sight of who we are and where we are. A recently promoted League One club who waited an age to get this opportunity. Know our place, which is for now is simply continuing to survive in this league. Then we can build in time. We've a great team off the pitch, and we need to keep that together. I think, in my opinion, very well said.
Yep. Agree.
Yep, agree. And I think that links a lot to what Eisner said on his video, which we'll talk about as well. About us being a championship team at the minute and no more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we still have the ambition, etc. But we'll come back to that. Final comment, by the way, is from, I'm going to give this to Pelican Anglo-Saxon. He says, and again, I'll only read the first line just because it's quite long. We're shit. We've players we found in the club's bins, in other clubs' bins. Isn't a way to recruit for stability.
Is there
no arguing with that?
Is there any context in terms of when this was written? Was it written like at 2 minutes past 2 o'clock, just after we lost to Hull, for example?
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. But,
and the difference is what I was going to say about Unboxing's comment was that he actually backed his up. He didn't just say Richard the shit and that's it.
Yeah,
he gave examples of what we should do to get better. But I'm not sure about we're shit and we've got other players bin juice or whatever it is.
That's again. Good,
that'll turn into a chant next week, won't it?
Yeah, we've got your bin juice.
Do you want your bin juice back? Okay, let's get into the game. But thank you very much for your comments. Please keep sending them in. We're happy to discuss them, positive or negative. It's everyone's entitled to their opinion. And we're happy to
most people
our
are.
opinions. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, most people. And whilst you're popping your comments in, please consider subscribing to our channel. Here we go with this. This was
hooray,
day, wasn't it? Cold and wet.
Cold and wet, wasn't it?
So cold. But here we go. Dan, do you want to talk us through this?
Good football before that as well. And then Murphy picks it up, doesn't he? Lays it off to Swanson. Everyone screams, shoot. Wallop. Lovely.
Yeah, normally at that stage, when everyone screams shoot, I'm just going to pause it there. When everyone screams shoot at that point, you normally go, don't just. Oh, okay. Because instantly, we had quite a good view of that, didn't we? We were almost directly behind it. And I did instantly think, don't. And as soon as he hit it, I thought, that's going in.
Yeah.
That's going in.
Yeah, lovely hit. And I think when being there as well, you don't realise just how far out it was. When I was there, I thought it was just sort of edge of the box, maybe just inside. But yeah, it was.
I also didn't appreciate how good a save this was from Schmid. It came through a lot of bodies, didn't it?
Yeah,
quite
good
good
hands,
there,
especially
guy.
on that surface as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was skidded. He would have seen it late, and it would have skidded. So go on, Dan. Continue. Sorry.
Murphy picks up the ball there. Yeah. So this was a deflection, wasn't it? Some people really quite adamant that it wasn't, but it clearly deflected off the defender. Well, that's clearly, but it flicked off the defender. Not sure what the keeper's doing quite out there off his line.
Yeah, no. I just paused it whilst we talk about that. But yeah, again at the time it looked as if he did just kind of maybe spun over across, got a bit lucky, maybe caught in the wind and popped in at the far post, didn't it? And again that angle we've just seen there you can't really see the deflection that well, but when you see it from the angle from the south stand Fratton end kind of corner, it quite clearly spins off that defender. It's a shame really because it's gone down as an own goal, which obviously it is. But
I'm gonna ask a question then. Devlin's deflected shot a few weeks ago that didn't go down as an own goal, that was clearly off target until it hit the defender.
Well, I will counter that, Tolly. Go on, Dan. Do you want to?
Well, I was going to say no. I thought it was off target, wasn't it? I thought by the looks of it, it was going off target. But if they say it's on target, then they give it to the attacker, don't they?
So
I think it was on target. I think it was. It probably wouldn't have gone in, but because the deflection obviously wrong for the keeper, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was. Just a little word on this one. So let's just pick it up here. What is nice here? Two things, and I think this is one of the things we've lacked in recent weeks, is Murphy coming in inside because he's got Swanson overlapping him, which is great, which kind of obviously gives defenders something to think about. But if you look at it from there, we're starting it from here. Segic's run is excellent.
Yeah,
off the back of the defender, in between the two defenders. That's an excellent run, isn't it? And that's what we've really lacked over the last couple of weeks, over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
And 8 men forwards there as well. We had, which is nice to see. You had a row of 4 attackers then as well when you paused it.
Yeah,
which is really good to see.
Now, is this a red in your opinion?
Well, we were directly there, weren't we? That's we're just there where the ball's gone off, so we saw it quite clearly. At first, I thought it could have gone either way. He did catch him. It was a bad one. I thought Lang was injured, but as I've been telling people, we saw him say to Devlin, I think it was, wasn't he, as he was lying on the floor holding his face. Devlin came over and went to him, "You all right, mate?" And he looked up and he went, "Yeah, I'm all right." And then he went back down again and started holding his face. So that was good because I thought he might have been injured for a second, but. I don't know. I think it can go either way, really.
We'll watch it again. It is a dangerous challenge. I think you've got to also take into account that. Yeah. Well, I suppose the things you've got to consider is he potentially could injure the player. So I suppose I saw on a different podcast, I can't remember where it was, that he was clean through. He's not clean through, is he? Not in a million years is he clean through. He's on the halfway line for a start, and he's last man. But again, you can also see there's somebody who possibly would catch him right there. So I don't think it's the last man situation. I think it's more down to the dangerous play, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, it does look bad from that.
He didn't complain, though, did he? Didn't complain.
No, which gives you an idea as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Poor goal this, I think, to concede.
Yeah. It's lost Dozzle there, didn't he?
Yeah. He's just a little bit napping in defence there, and I was worried at that stage, if I'm honest with you, when that went in. I was a little bit nervous because we weren't as good for the 10 minutes after going and a man up, were we?
Yeah, that was Lang's header there. I thought Lang just being on the pitch for half an hour was class. I thought he just showed just how much we missed him, just the energy.
Yeah, absolute
quality.
Let's
not talk over this.
What up? Have that. I missed that goal, Tolly.
Poor defending.
Yeah, well, do you think they let him run, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I missed that because my old man bladder decided that, and I thought it's 2 minutes to go. We'll be all right, won't we? Surely. As soon as I got to the loo, it's like brilliant. What I love about that though is some people then ran out. You're not going to see. You're going to see someone run into a corner.
Yeah. Quick, see the replay.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I agree. I thought Lang, just non-stop, wasn't he? Absolutely non-stop.
Yeah, and two or three sort of that header was a good chance, but he had 2 or 3 other chances as well, didn't he? And that's that. Like I say, that's in the half an hour, which is what they've been missing, those chances.
Yeah.
Really dangerous, and really, I actually thought from the off. Obviously, we started with Schmid and Segic came into the side. Bianchini came in on the right hand side. We'll talk about that in a moment. I saw some comments saying, this was on the way to the game actually. What's Bursic done to be dropped?
Well, I think you answered that, didn't you, when you told me this on Saturday? Yeah.
He's number 2 goalkeeper, and actually, I think Schmid. You could see the difference. I think Bursic's done all right, yeah, no doubt. But Schmid, was quality. I thought he didn't have a huge amount to do, but what he had to do, did very well.
I think the one thing that you can never tell from these situations is the confidence the defenders have in their goalkeeper. And I think that goes for a lot, and it's something that you don't see on the pitch. But obviously, they play together day in, day out training. And I think when I've seen Schmidt and Bursic play, it looks to me like the back 3 or back 4 or whatever have a lot more confidence in Schmidt than they do in Bursic.
Yeah. The other player who came in was Kosnovsky in midfield. What were your thoughts on his performance, Dan?
I thought he did really well. I was surprised that he got man of the match, but I didn't think that was such a bad thing. I thought he was good, very solid. Just plays the ball nice and easy. So I thought he was decent. Did very well.
Full 90 minutes as well, wasn't it?
90 minutes. Yeah.
Which I was surprised at because obviously Dazelle was the one who was taken off for Pack, wasn't he? And normally it would be whoever's alongside Dazelle will be the one to get hooked. But I thought because obviously it was nice, like you say, nice and tidy. He covered a lot of ground. I think that's the thing that he did that Pack doesn't do, is that he covered a hell of a lot of ground. And I just think it's obviously you had Segic but Lang kind of doing a lot of the attacking work, and those two actually were just covered in behind and allowed Swanson and Devlin to get forward as well, which was good, very good. I also saw another comment saying that the Earth is covered by 70% water, the other 30% is covered by Mark Kosnovsky.
Very good.
All right. Obviously, you didn't think that was as good as I did. There you go. Okay, Bianchini. Let's talk about Bianchini because some people have said, they liked him. Very good. I didn't think he was great, to be honest with you. But what he did do is he did give us balance. But what do you think, Dan?
He did okay. It was just the end product, wasn't it? A lot of hard work. Put one of their players in hospital. I mean, generally, I hope he's okay. But he worked. He worked hard, didn't he? Like you say, he got back. He got a few tackles in, which you don't see often from a winger. But it was just that final ball, I think, that just let him down, which is a shame.
Going forward, He seemed to lack A, confidence, but B, he seemed to just get to a situation where it's kind of like he forgot what he's doing almost, isn't it? It's kind of and end up doing nothing. Just poor decisions in the final third, anyway. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Good win overall. 5 goals now in the last 2 games, which is an improvement. 4 of which have come from right backs, which is all right. We're taking goals at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yep. So as long as they don't get ahead of themselves now and just start shooting from the halfway line.
Yeah, right backs, know your place.
1 goal a season, that's all you're allowed. 2 in Devlin's case.
Yeah. Actually, we'll come to Michael Arson's thing, but it's a good win. Millwall were actually in good form as well coming into that game. So, sorry, no, they weren't. They were well up in the table. They're actually in quite poor form, weren't they? They've had a few injuries, but just completely contradicted myself there. But they are a good sign. You could see, and actually, I think the real difference is that we looked good against them and made them look kind of average. But was that partly down to the rain and the cold, or was that just down to the fact that we had players returning and had more confidence?
Probably a bit of everything. I think nobody likes playing at Pompey, do they? Especially on a cold, wet day. And having those players back certainly boosted the team. So let's just hope they can carry it on. That's
indeed.
Unchanged for tomorrow, then, do you reckon?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, most likely. He suggested that Lang's not ready to start, hasn't he? He said he probably isn't ready to start against Sheffield United or Bristol City. But again, we don't really know Massinho because he tends to kind of have a bit of sleight of hand, doesn't he, with his team selection? So we'll see. We will see. Right, Michael Eisner released a little video today, I think, wasn't it? Was it today or maybe yesterday or over the weekend? I don't know. It must be. It was recently. Anyway, let's say recently. Dan, you obviously alerted us to it. So, Tolly, you've, I think, watched it as well. What was your general impression of Michael and Breck? Is it Breck or Brack? Breck Eisner's comments.
I have to be honest with you, Mike. I watched the first couple of minutes and that was it. Because I don't know. I didn't really get the. It was I don't know. What was it? What's it for?
I think it's just a bit of a rally cry, wasn't it, to say we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We've just won a game. We're doing okay, and there's positive things, and we're not going to get relegated. Period.
Yeah, but he's also saying about the fact that we're not desperately trying to get into the Premier League immediately. Yeah. We're quite happy with our situation in the Championship, and we're going to build the foundations, which I think is a good thing. You don't want to rush it, as people might not like that. Everyone wants to get promoted to the Premier League, don't they? And you'd rather do it sooner rather than later. But I think he's right in that they've got to try and build the squad.
I think, a lot of the talk was about the amount of debt that a lot of the clubs in the Championship have, and he kind of highlighted how, it wasn't just a little bit of debt; it's phenomenal amounts of debt. As in, you look at Sheffield Wednesday, for example. Nobody wants to go through that sort of situation. We've been through it. We don't want to go through that sort of situation again. I think the thing that maybe, again, playing devil's advocate, I think maybe the thing that is difficult for fans to take is, yes, you can understand that. I can understand that, and I'm kind of supportive of it to a degree. When you're a billionaire saying it kind of is quite difficult, and especially when you compare it. He was comparing it with a baseball club that he used to own, and saying about how they spent £100 million on a player, $100 million on a player who then got injured in his first game, didn't play again the whole of that season, then kind of lost form the second season and put on loads of weight on the third season. They then changed their strategy to bring in young players and won the World Series. Now, I don't know how much truth is in that. I don't really think he has any reason to lie about it. But apples with apples, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Who cares about
that old gem?
Quite frankly.
It was a little bit. I didn't really understand what the kind of theme was there. Really, I totally get it. The not rushing into the Premiership kind of thing, and I don't think we're not ready for that. Not in any department of the club, I don't think.
But do you think we should be showing a bit more
ambition
in the transfer? I was reluctant to say ambition, but just a bit more in the transfer market. As in, I don't get me wrong, I get it. Yes, buy. I just think you can't have a squad full of players who are going to be good. Do you know what I mean? I think you also are young and hungry.
No, it's true.
You need a balance. So you need some. You look at Derby, for example. They brought in, and again, maybe they've spent a lot of money, and if it goes wrong, then more for them. But you look at someone like Carlton Morris, for example, proven Championship striker. He's banging them in. One of the things we've struggled to do is put the ball in the net. So sometimes I think you have to invest to move forward, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's down to how much money the owners are willing to put in, risk versus reward, isn't it? Really.
Mm-hmm.
We saw with Mandaric heaped a load of money into the club and got us into Premiership and won the FA Cup, and you can't sustain that level of injection, can you, with a club the size of Portsmouth, unfortunately? So
No.
baby steps, slow and steady, I reckon.
Yeah. I'm going to be fair to Mandaric here and say that although he got us to the Premier League, it was other Guidermack, wasn't it, that started chucking loads of money at Harry Redknapp to get us to the FA Cup final, etc. So I think Mandaric realised he had taken us as far as he could, didn't he? Yeah, I think that's a good example, though, isn't it? Look at Redknapp's team that came up.
Yeah.
You had the likes of, you had a mixture of young players like Matt Taylor, Gary O'Neill, but then you also had the likes of Merson, Steve Stone, etc.
Sherwood.
That were in the engine room and helped us out. Anyway, I don't think there's any perfect answer, is there? Because if he started spending loads of money and we went down the pan, then everyone would be blaming him for that. So at the moment, we're moving in the right direction. All right, let's have a quick prediction on firstly, Sheffield United. They won well against Wednesday at the weekend, but
Is it too early?
It's going to happen, don't we? We all know.
Is it too early to call it a 6-pointer?
Yes. But it would be nice to get 7 points.
7 points from 3 games.
No, 7 points away from Sheffield United. I was thinking.
Oh, sorry,
with a win, but it's Pompey, isn't it? Just had a good win at home. Would be lovely. Let's go there. We should be beating them, but they've got Chris Wilder back. They've got pretty much the same team that they had last year. So they can't be a bad team. And they've got the same amount of wins as us, I've just noticed.
Yep.
4 wins each.
We'll go into it with a lot of,
we'll
go into it with a lot of confidence, so won't we? Players back.
Yep.
Coming back from a decent win. So I reckon. Well, I think we probably will take a draw now, wouldn't we? But I wouldn't be surprised if we put in another good performance, came back with 3 points,
and played very well there last year.
We did play very well there, yeah. And if it hadn't been for a couple of goal line clearances that we did ourselves in their goal, like Ogilvy's, for example, 2 yards out that he hit over the bar, we probably would have got the same from the game, wouldn't we?
Yep.
Although he did score in that game as well, to be fair.
He did.
All right. So we're going to say a point, Sheffield United. Bristol City at home at the weekend. We want to be getting Fratton back to being a fortress, don't we?
Well, another top 6 team, isn't it? They're 5th. We've only lost to Coventry. What else have we done? Beat Middlesbrough, beat Millwall at home. So we beat Bristol City comfortably at home last year, didn't we? We won 3-0. But early kickoff again, isn't it? Early kickoff on Saturday. Hopefully we can get the 3 points.
Tolly, your thoughts?
I think we could be. I think a lot of it hinges on how we play on Saturday, doesn't it? Tomorrow night, Wednesday. But I think that win against Millwall will have given the team a big confidence boost and a bit of belief in themselves. So I reckon we could be on the verge of going on a nice little streak. So I'm going to go for a draw tomorrow night and then a home win against Bristol.
Fabulous. And I think the combination as well of having Lang and Segacic back, Kozlowski possibly could cement himself in that midfield role, and Schmid at the back could put us on a little run and have some goals in it as well. I'm even going to predict that in one of those games, Bishop's going to score a goal. How about that? Controversial, Bishop.
Oh yeah.
You forgot about Bishop.
No, he's still getting the abuse, isn't he?
Still getting the grief.
It'll come good.
He'll be fine. And I'm going to say he's going to score in one of those games and go on a little run between now and Christmas. There you go. So we did beat Mill this week, ending a run of how many games was it? 6 games without a win, I think, something like that on there. Since Middlesbrough, we hadn't won since the opening weekend of October. So, anyway, we are back now. We've broken that run. We'll be back next week to review the Sheffield United and Bristol City game. But for now, play Up Pompey. Thank you, gentlemen. Goodbye.
Cheers, folks.
Thank
Good evening.
you. Bye.